Somewhere in the 15th century in the Deccan Plateau of India, a small city was founded by a chieftain of the great Vijayanagar Empire that has caught the imagination of the world. Over the last 20 years, it has become the beacon of modern India, enthralled the world and firmly established India's position as one of the greatest soft powers. All this within the last 2 decades. This is Bangalore, a city we love, a city we adore, a city we proudly wear on our sleeves while traveling to every nook and corner of this world. Welcome to Namma Bengaluru.
This is how most of the Bangalore restaurants used to look in olden times when I was growing up.
This is what it was
This
like.
is what it used to be.
Wow. So what do we have here? This is button idli. Button idli, right?
That's buttermilk.
So what do we have here?
This is nothing but they call it as a bonda soup.
Bonda.
Bonda soup. It's nothing but a similar batter of what we have for medu vada, udin vada. And
But rather than have the donut sort of shape with a hole in the middle, this is
you're right.
this is a full.
It's basically a very thin version of a dal, which goes along with that. It was very occasional. As I said, only if you're a good boy, you'll get that food.
So you didn't go out much because you were not that great of a
I was not a good boy. He's insulting me, Chaudhuri. In the camera. I refuse to talk to him.
Your love for a city has a lot to do with the people you meet and the impact they have on your lives. This is Subarna, a trained chef, teacher in one of the best culinary schools in India, a baker, entrepreneur, and coffee man. He has the distinction of wearing many different hats over the years. For me, he's one of those persons without whom perhaps my understanding, my experience of Bangalore would have been very different. Bangalore is also a city with an exciting past. Founded, built and fortified by Kempegowda, a chieftain under the Vijayanagar dynasty, it was also ruled by the Maharajas of Mysore, the Wodeyars, one of the most pragmatic, foresighted and benevolent royals of India. And then briefly ruled by Hyder Ali and his son Tipu Sultan, who took on the mighty English East India Company before himself being martyred on one of the bloodiest battles, the Battle of Srirangapatna, in the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War. After this, it came under the British rule. In one of the rarest occurrences in history, the British gave back the administrative control of the city to the royal family of Mysore. And that is how it stayed till India's independence in 1947. It is 4 a.m. in the morning and we are at one of the biggest flower markets of Asia. On a rainy, gloomy morning, when a large part of the city continues to sleep, you wake up to the buzz, chatter of an extremely busy marketplace, which is bursting out with some of the most beautiful colors and aromas that the world could offer. Within the next few hours, all of these colors and smell will start reaching different corners of the city, and yes, it will warm the hearts of many. There's something absolutely magical about masala dosa. A fermented batter made with a mixture of rice and lentils and then thrown into a thick iron tawa. Splashes of oil and water create a mythical smoke. An irresistible flavor which brings back all the lost goodness and all the happy memories that life has had to offer. The trip becomes that much more meaningful when you're inside a restaurant which continuously pushes the limits of its offering by setting the benchmark in all possible dimensions of the food business: hygiene, quality, and price.
We wanted to show people what hygiene is all about. Always there is one notion in everybody's mind that hygiene is the cost. We wanted to show hygiene is not the cost, and we wanted to keep it open. We wanted to show people what hygiene is all about. There are hotels, there are places where you can see the kitchen live, but you don't see the dishwashing area live.
Very true.
So we wanted to maintain that standard and show people what hygiene is all about.
No, that's brilliant. I mean, it's not very often that you come across concepts and ideas where hygiene plays such a big role.
Is this hotel does not have a door.
Yeah.
Apart from the cashier room, there is no door.
Oh, that's an important room to have a door. You know, being part of the hospitality industry, sustenance at these prices is very, very difficult, right? Especially of an establishment on this size. When you guys must have started out 5-6 years ago, this was probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, a big risk. At these prices, 5 items in the menu, we're going to focus on hygiene. We're going to focus on things which others have not. We're not going to have sambar. You know, everything that others would say you're crazy.
Correct.
Right? What was that process like?
See, it was a gamble, as you said, but our chairman was very clear that he had to bring a concept where it gives back something to the industry.
It's quite unique that just 5 items on the menu have required this much of thinking, this much of process, this much of investment of the mind, body and soul just to get this out to, and you can see the crowd already. I say this with utmost sincerity that Taza Thindi, with its current standard and consistency, can challenge some of the very best in the business. This is Indian gastronomy at its very, very best.
You don't have to adhere to something to be Bangalorean. I think Bangalore is more about people actually, like I keep saying, this is a very aspirational city. If you're here and trying to get something done, I think you're just Bangalore. That's basically it.
That makes you fit in.
Yeah, you know how people talk about the American dream? Mm-hmm. Right? I think if there is an equivalent to that, saying that you can choose your own line of work or whatever it is, your own lifestyle, and still have a brilliant life, do great just if you try and have a purpose. I think Bangalore is a very good foundation for that.
This is Naresh Malhotra, one of the founding partners of KPMG India. He has also served as the director of UB Group and Cafe Coffee Day. Naresh was also operating partner at Sequoia Capital. He is currently an angel investor, mentors and advises young entrepreneurs and their teams.
I landed on the 26th and the 27th January, I think I met Vijay Mallya because I had come to take up his position with him, the finance director's job for the UB Group. And that was very good. I mean, the Bangalore of that time and the Bangalore of today is totally different.
What was your first impression of Bangalore?
Laid back, easy paced, not much traffic.
Right.
Greenery was always there. It was a bit more, of course, at that time. It was not so much concrete. Indranagar, where we are now, no one used to come here because it used to be like a jungle. And if you told people you're going to Indranagar, they said, oh shucks, so far, and it was only 3 kilometers from MG Road.
And this was just 33 years ago. From the lens of a business owner or a startup founder right now, there aren't too many cities across the globe that you'd want to be in apart from Bangalore where you could get that opportunity or that sense. It's not about the access of capital, it's more of the hub and the network you build to meet other founders that allows you to build that hustle. Would you agree with that?
I agree totally. And I must tell you, it's not as if the younger generation has got on the startups also. I funded 15 startups myself over the last 15 years, let's say.
Of course. Yeah.
And I haven't made money in all. I've made money in some, I've lost money in some, but overall I'm plus. But apart from being plus, I think it's a great sense of enjoyment, it's a great sense of excitement, and it's a great sense of being a part of the change. You know, I've learned so much from all these companies and startups which I've sort of funded. Fortunately, I've got rid of most of them, but I still have 6 of them. You know, I got out of 9 of them. Some flopped, some made me money, some didn't do so well, some did very, very well. So
That's the life of an investor, right?
and it's great. And I've been able to carry on doing whatever I want to. The whole approach to life is casual. You know, they don't dress up for work. They work from home.
Does that sit well with you?
Sorry?
Does that sit well with you?
No, it takes. I mean, I can't adapt to work from home, and frankly, I cannot work from home. And that's why I say sometimes I'm antiquated. But for these youngsters, they take it in the stride. So the dress is casual, the work environment is casual, their whole approach to life is casual. Yet, here's the dichotomy: they are also serious. You know, so when you say that everything is casual, but they take life seriously, they are fairly career-oriented. I wouldn't say that I find anyone who says, "Oh, chalta hai," because here today people, you see, when I was growing up, if you didn't like your job, you'd still have to lump it because there weren't very many opportunities available. Today they don't like a job, they say, check it up. I said, what do you mean check it up? They said, no. What will you do? Well, I'll sit at home for a few months and then I'll see. But he could never think like that. I mean, I wasn't brought up to think like that.
Sure.
So those are the very different sort of people you see now than in my time.
The name Military Hotel has its tryst with the army. As far as the story goes, the Marathas in the 17th century had set up special eating houses in order to address food needs of their soldiers after the conquest of Bangalore. It also received acceptance among Tipu's army and later with the British. Ranganna Military Hotel, established in 1964, was built around this theme and continues to carry forward the rich legacy of spices and protein-heavy meat-based foods. Only mutton, chicken and fish. A true family-run restaurant where the members not only get involved in managing the business, but cooking and serving the guests as well.
This is the milled ragi water. That's it. You boil, add the ragi, cook it, make it into balls
And this must be extremely nutritious, right?
very, very much. So another tradition is they call it something called as Banur goat.
Okay.
So they are actually specifically breeded with a little high fat percentage of good fat, so that it adds more nutritious to the food as well as the flavors into it.
I'm using my hand after a very long time, and it's there's something else when you use your hands, right?
Because they don't serve any kind of crockery here. It's supposed to be eaten with hands. And Chiraag, if you feel the meat actually falls off the bone easy. You don't have to hardly.
It must have been cooked for a very long time, right?
Yes.
This place is not for the faint-hearted. Not everyone would be okay with this place, right?
It's primarily for true non-veg feast.
True non-veg.
Feast. You have to come, get knocked out, and get back. Sure, sir. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Chiraag. Thanks. Is it bone? Okay. Kandita.
Yeah, same thing.
Got it. This is the Bangalore chops. This is the Nalli special. Got it special.
The head, the goat head that we had.
The Talemamsa fry.
The trotters and the soup. The soup, the broth. Very good.
Soup and dosa for morning breakfast.
That's morning breakfast.
Yeah.
What time do you start? Oh, you open what time?
Morning 7:30.
And the family cooks or
My dad,
your dad
mom,
still cooks?
everyone cooks. Even my brother will cook.
Legend says that there was this raging bull who would attack the farms every year and destroy the groundnut crops which were ready for harvest. To protect their harvest, farmers prayed to Basava, Nandi the bull, and offered their first crop to the Lord. In the 16th century, when Kempegowda built a temple, the Kadlikai Parishe was centered around this temple, and the belief was that bull would consume the farmers' offerings of groundnuts and bless them. Kadlikai Parishe in Kannada means the groundnut festival. Since then, every year, farmers from all over the state gather near the bull temple to seek blessings for a good harvest. Different varieties and qualities of groundnuts spring up around one of Bengaluru's oldest suburbs. A 500-year-old tradition continued to be celebrated with great excitement and fanfare in a modern-day metropolis. Technology, innovation, tradition all live side by side in great harmony.
So for me now, since I've seen colors and I've seen images, I know what when you refer to a particular aspect. Suppose when you say a tree and a color, so I know what it feels like. But I need a description on how deep the color is, or how big or huge the tree is. So something of that sort.
Okay.
So I know what it is, but I need a description on the level and the intensity of the image.
So the scale
The scale, yes.
helps you to then
Yes,
decide
yes. Yeah.
how you're going to pursue it and how
True,
you're going to
true.
take the
Yeah.
image. You know, very, very distinct change in your life over the last couple of years,
Yes, yes.
and where the feeling of inclusion is probably become tenfold,
Yes,
right?
yes.
How has that changed? How has the city been able to make you feel more included? Or do you think the city can do more to make life slightly easier for everyone?
Yes, so I think the first thing towards inclusion is a barrier-free environment. So suppose if you have to do something, when the city gives you an opportunity to explore and do things on your own terms, I think that's the first step for inclusion.
Okay.
And Bangalore as a city has definitely done that for me. There's no 100% or there's no absolute terms in terms of I mean, there can't be one place where everyone is empathetic. But I think collectively, for me, people in my college, in my school, at my workplace, so people are trying to understand and they're trying to include me in the city, in the society that they live in. So I think that is empathy for me.
This is Giridhar, a bright 24-year-old mechanical engineer who lost his eyesight a few years ago due to a dengue-related complication, but never lost his vision. He loves photography, adventure sport, and currently works at Atkins as a graduate engineer. His endearing love for the city and its people is a moving tribute towards the spirit of humanity.
Probably a couple of months back, I think we'd been to an adventure resort. So I did a quad bike on my own. So people were guiding.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's nice. Did you like it?
Yeah, I loved it.
Now, what happens when technology gets mixed up with food? It hits like a thunderbolt, invades your life with a list of virtual and physical restaurants, and opens up a mind-boggling number of options of cuisine. Other than eating, you are also thinking of food, dreaming of food, and talking of food. All the time, in any given opportunity. Your interest, awareness, and ability to appreciate the world of gastronomy becomes an all-time high. And rightfully so. It takes center stage in your life.
Tech has disrupted businesses in multiple ways. Today you can launch products and figure out whether it's working, not working within a week. Because this is data, I think there is a lot of insights into who is your customer, how do they behave, how many times do they come back, what is it that they like, don't like. So that's the other part. Because you are rated every single time on delivery and the food experience, you really get to know real time on how customer is responding every single time. I think you, over a period of time, are able to bring in greater differentiation between markets. It need not have the same product across same market. The taste can be different, the portion sizes can be different, the pricing can be different, the discounting strategies can be different. So lots can change.
Bold does not define any cuisine guardrails for you. I can do Indian, I can do Southeast Asian, I can do pastas, I can do salads, I can do fruit, I can do a whole host of products in a bowl.
Essentially, it gives you the liberty.
So it gives you a liberty to curate a menu that you wish to create for consumers, right? It gives you the whole opportunity of wanting to experiment. It gives you this whole freedom to pick and choose what you want, right? And put it out in a bowl, right? Which a cuisine lens will never allow you to do. So I certainly see that both are here to stay. They're not going to go anywhere.
Right. Okay.
Secondly, also this whole piece of convenience of eating, right? It just brings in that additional dimension. Saying, okay, it's easy to eat, I can consume, I can eat on the go, right? So that is another thing we're starting to see, that a lot of people are now wanting to eat bowls. It's a lot easier for them to manage, right? They don't have to struggle while ordering food. A lot of people actually struggle when they go and see a 50 menu, 50 item menu and say, okay, what do I want, right? Which bowl kind of takes care of. You know what you're going to get, your expectations are very clear, you get it, you enjoy it, and you're done with it.
Bangalore is possibly one of the most cosmopolitan metros.
It is.
I would say the most cosmopolitan metro.
Definitely.
Bombay might be the only other place.
I actually think more.
Yeah,
if you
possibly.
think about the demographic and
True.
the different levels of
More
society.
younger, more cosmopolitan.
Yeah, far more, because they've got
And
that
because
option.
it is more tech business driven, there are lots of things, more educated, more exposed, more experimental. So a lot of those nuances do come in Bangalore culture.
Running a theatre group for 42 years would allow you to see an influx of different people.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
It gives you a very good perspective towards what Bangalore is attracting and at what time.
Yeah.
So, and I know you work with a lot of youth and people coming in, working within the theatre group. Have you seen much of a change? Do people do they feel as connected coming into Bangalore with theatre, with art? Or was it more so before, less so now? Has it been the same?
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to compare it really with other cities because this is the city where I started my work life. I came in here at the age of 22 and I'm 64 now. I would say that, earlier, right in the beginning, 80s, 90s, we used to be rehearsing in Indian Institute of Science, the Tata Institute. So over there, the institute itself, in their very talented students, there also used to be a pursuit of theatre, which could be, maybe some of them would like to perform in their own regional language, but many of them would like to perform in English, and they came across to our group. We used to actually rehearse in their open air theatre, daily, on a daily basis. And today, as I see more and more number of youngsters coming in to work in the various technology companies over here, they find their footing in the kind of art they want to pursue. After devoting themselves to their career quite sincerely, they still find enough space here to devote themselves.
The city gives them that opportunity.
Yes, the city
in terms of what their hobbies might be like. So you're not disjointed from the things that you're passionate about. People are obviously very different in terms of how they approach others within the city. And the humility adds to. Would it be right in saying that humility adds to Bangalore not being able to show up when it comes to the level of, say, a Mumbai or Delhi, when we're talking about theatre, art, with Kolkata as well?
Maybe,
because it's not boisterous. It's a city which is not boisterous.
It is not arrogant.
It's not arrogant.
No, it's not.
So people probably do not perceive it as a place where you have a lot of theatre and art going around, but in reality, there is a lot going here, and there is a lot being added to the industry.
Yes, absolutely.
We're just not talking about it enough.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say I'm very happy that Bangaloreans are not fools. It's not that they are not aware that people in other cities are quite arrogant once they've achieved a certain level in creativity. But Bangalore still decided not to change. It stuck to its version of remaining humble, even when you have achieved, and not only in the fields of creative activity, but also I would say when people here have say their own industries or their own corporations growing. I mean, if you talk of the Narayan Murthy and Sudha Murthy, this couple itself is such an epitome of humility. They are so accessible. So I used to feel at one point of time that they should be a role model for so many youth in our country, that yes, he did build, in certain ways, empire, but he never exuded that. He never radiated that spirit when he came and sat next to you. Neither did his wife. That is a great lesson to learn in how to go through life.
These are three different kind of side dishes to go along with the rotis made with rice flour. This is onion tomato, this is purely chana dal, and this is onion chutney, purely onion chutney.
Beaten rice, poha.
Poha. Actually, beaten rice poha. This is actually called Gojju Avlakki in Kannada. We make this using the tamarind pulp juice and jaggery.
I was just asking her before we were taking this particular shot, how the food has changed from your childhood to now, what you're eating now versus what you had when you were growing up. Has it changed much? Or is it the same?
Actually, we are, following the tradition, and we want our children to follow the tradition. That's why we insist on this Nuchinunde. This is a very, very, our grandmother's dish. It is, and even this savige and majge holi, poha, everything. All these are traditional ones. So we do this quite often, and we want our children to follow.
Is local cuisine being able to stand itself and other cuisines are not invading that space, or do you think there needs to be more space given to...
Local cuisine is quite strong, and like many darshinis and many restaurants, they have diversified in such a manner that many olden time food which was being made also comes in a restaurant. Of course, there is an advent of multiple cuisines. So we used to only eat South Indian food. Now my children will eat not just South Indian, North Indian, Korean, Japanese, all kind of food. They go ahead and taste it.
And are you happy about that? Are you
quite good?
Yeah,
nothing wrong. Let them eat. Let them enjoy.
Good. Are you guys some people that would also enjoy eating that, or are you happy with...
Once in a while, you might bind them to one kind of food.
Keep them open to as many things as possible, which is the best way.
Of different cuisines.
Tokyo 2020 had been the best Olympics and Paralympics for India in the last 4 decades. If Olympic medals are the final destination, then the real journey begins many a summer prior. To realize the dream of 1 billion, there are countless others who wake up every morning and chase it with a great sense of purpose and ownership. Go Sports Foundation, a Bangalore-based non-profit organization run and managed by some of the top sporting personnel and administrators of the country, has fully committed to identify, train, mentor, and develop the best Olympic and Paralympic talents for the country. We are at the Dravid Padukone Center of Sporting Excellence, a truly world-class sporting facility. We are here today to catch up with Dipti Bopaya, the CEO of Go Sports Foundation, an ex-banker herself, and sportsperson who has represented the state in both volleyball and tennis.
I loved the vision that they had, and I thought it was a great opportunity for me to explore this. So my first few discussions were really about volunteering, because my bosses were like, sure, you want to do this? Please go and volunteer, you leave early, you come late, we'll figure that out.
So it wasn't even considered
It was not even considered that why would you get into something like this? But then I actually helped Go Sports in a sports auction, where we were trying to raise funds in Chennai. And that's when I realized, wow, this is amazing, and there's so much to do, and if we can tell our story well, and if we can shared these athlete journeys, I'm sure we can raise money, and I'm sure we can be part of one Olympian or two Olympian journeys. I'm sure we can do that. So that's how.
Before you move on, how many Olympians and how many Paralympians now?
We have, at the Tokyo Olympics, we had 12 Olympians just at Tokyo. And we had 21 Paralympians at Tokyo.
So it started with the notion of let's have one.
Let's have one, but we
and you ended up with 12 and
at
21.
Rio also we had. So I think totally we are about 50 Olympians and Paralympians from the foundation.
That's brilliant.
So 9 years back it was just one or two we want to be part of it. I think, and we worked with both. Able-bodied athletes and athletes with disabilities, and from the start we were very clear that when you talk about the pinnacle of sport, it is the Olympics, and the parallel is the Paralympics. So we will work with both of them.
For a fact that a big role in all this, and of course your humility and modesty comes out in terms of thanking the team and the people around it, but a big part of it is you and what you've been able to come across and give to the industry, forgetting all the barriers that you had to break down.
How do you ensure that athletes get to the best of their potential? Their best of their potential may only be an Asian Games, but you have to see how far they've come in that journey. Some of them come from very humble backgrounds. Some of them have taken up sports which you'll be amazed that how is an Indian even playing a sport like Bhavani Devi, our first fencer.
Fencing, it's crazy.
In India, no one ever thought we'll have a fencer who'll qualify for the Olympics. But 7 years ago when we actually started the Rahul Dravid Athlete Mentorship Program, Rahul told us that can you find unique sports? Can you find girls who are pursuing this sport, and you make one of those girls do well, they'll become a role model not just for the country but for their community, and a lot more athletes will come back and take up that sport.
Though information technology is what defines Bangalore, there's a world beyond those swanky offices, beautiful landscape complexes, and buildings with large glass facades, buzzing with coders and startup specialists. Bangalore also very much belongs to those countless Nagraj, Ravi, Gauriamma, Mujib, Faisal, and Anthony's. They sell flowers outside temples, sell fruits in local neighborhoods, sharpens your kitchen knives, handcraft beautiful potteries, stitches garments, sell livestock, and ferry you around the city in their green-yellow autos. Bangalore of today also belongs to countless Priyas and Latas who deliver your favorite food from our favorite restaurants while trying to balance between motherhood and livelihood. They are the real heartbeat of this city. It's their sweat and toil, along with many others, which keep the city moving. There are restaurants in Bangalore big and small, good and bad, old and new. And then there's Koshi's, an institution, a place, a restaurant, a home, which continues to light up life even after 70 years of existence.
There are people who come in here, sit down, and they say, "Sir, we have traveled, Mr. Munro. I've traveled all over the world, sir, to all religious places looking for peace, sir. I'm not finding peace anywhere except here. I will come and sit in the morning." Because when he comes here, sits down, eats a chicken sandwich, he goes back to when he was 5 years old. A time of peace and calm and connectivity. Yes? And that is something truly by God's grace that we have been able to maintain. The chicken, roast chicken, 5 generations have tasted it. It remains exactly the same. I can't use fancy chefs here. You know, we don't do the fancy stuff. We do the roast chicken as Koshi's has done it for so many years. We do the chicken liver on toast, so we have done many years. Okay, the veg cutlet, you know, all of the veg stuff is the same. My customers feel that this is their home. They will leave their homes to come here to be peaceful, gather their thoughts. They will leave their offices to come here to be peaceful. They will leave countries to come here and sit and be peaceful. Yeah, and they feel that this is home. In fact, I have a young couple, I mean now, grandparents, great-grandparents, okay, that told me, right after his marriage, right after the ceremony, they were going to go home to change. Before that, he brought his wife and came here. And still they do. I mean, now he's gone both of them have got pretty old. I think Madam just passed away last year, but he's still alive. But the children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, 6 generations sitting on a table, 5 generations sitting on a table at one time. Each one of them having their favorite in Koshi's. I want the hot dog, I want the smileys, I want this, I want that. So there is very little that can, you know, sort of reward you as much as this space does. I doubt I could recreate it anywhere else again, one more time. I doubt anybody could, right?
If you ever feel that you want a slice of Bangalore, then please visit Koshi's. Sit in one of those corners, get lost in your thoughts over a hot cup of coffee, pen a few lines, and when hungry, ask for a sandwich. The black and white portraits hanging from the old walls, large old ceiling fans, and those 50-plus old Samuel or Kumar, the guys who wait on those tables, have their ways to make you forget all your worries, make you feel warm and happy. An unforgettable slice of life that stays with you and keeps bringing you back through those doors every time you are in Bangalore. There is this quiet dignity of being a Bangalorean, a tremendous sense of humility mixed with grace, and being rooted to one's culture. Deep-seated values over many generations that are some of the qualities which differentiates them from the rest. They stand tall in a world full of self-proclaimed celebrities, arrogant superachievers, and inflated egos. They continue to whisper in our ears that you do not need to become anyone else but yourself to be good at your work, to become successful, to be able to contribute to your nation, and to make the world a better place. Stay humble, stay modest, and grateful is the real mantra of a true Bangalorean.